Hi everyone and welcome on YouTube for this live stream. My name is Michael Chaize. I work in the Creative Cloud team and I'm based in Paris. And we want this live stream to be as interactive as possible. So I see already some people in the chat saying hello. Maybe you can tell us where you're from. I see Pablo, who's from Buenos Aires. It's very cool. And feel free, please, to use the chat to ask questions. I will try to answer all your questions. Also, we have Rufus Derschler in the chat who will answer your questions. So let's do it. Today, what I want to do on YouTube is share one of my new passion, which is hand lettering. I'm not super good at it. I'm not a professional hand lettering artist, but I will love it. And what I'm trying to explore is how to use the iPad and your iPhone to do hand lettering and how to incorporate this design within Photoshop or Illustrator CC. And I see Dennis from Netherlands, people from Seattle, I see people from Panama, Malaysia, Minneapolis, wow, from India. Thanks for staying with us. I mean, it must be very late in India, something like maybe 1 a.m. So that's cool. What's the best way to become better at it? Good question, Rambo. What I figured out is that it's just about, like all creative fields, practice and getting inspired. And today is really the golden age of lettering, so it's very easy to find resources, especially on Behance. If you type lettering on behance.net, you will see thousands of artworks. But today I want to start and show you, hey Tony, I want to show you how to do hand lettering with Photoshop Sketch. So why Photoshop Sketch? It's an application available on your iPhone and also on iPads and very soon on Android. So if you are Android users, very soon you will be able to use Photoshop Sketch. The team is working on it very hard. And I want to show you how to do lettering in Photoshop Sketch because this is a free application. So you can download it and try it today. The link is in the description of the video, so please try it. So I will use, so someone is asking, Lucas, it's a very good question. Am I using a stylus or my hand, my fingers? Actually, I use my finger for a very long time, but since there is the iPad Pro with this magical device, the Apple Pencil, I can now take advantage of pressure. So I will show you how to do that in Photoshop Sketch. So let's start. So I'm using here Photoshop Sketch. You see it on my screen? Good. And hi everyone, yeah, Android is coming, yes. So I'm using the iPad Pro. And we will start with a fresh new project. I want to show you several techniques, okay? And someone is mentioning Skillshare. Yes, very good. And there is actually a friend of mine, she's from Germany. Actually, she's not, she's from South America, but she lives in Germany. Martina, and now she has some very good tutorials on Skillshare. Yeah, very good point. Thank you, IPS Excellence 75 for mentioning it. Very good. Okay, so let's start. The thing with Photoshop Sketch is that you have several brushes. Okay, so by default, when you will open the app, you will see all these brushes, and what you have to do is a long tap. Okay, let me show you maybe in your iPad so you can see what I do. Long tap here. And you can select a brush between multiple brushes. So first, one trick that you can do, and someone is asking about Android users and Apple Pencil, you should check the Adonit website. They have, I think, good styluses, and there are a lot of styluses manufacturers also for an Android. Yeah, Android, Martina Flor, thank you. She's great. Okay, so also, when you do lettering, you have to predict a little bit your artwork. So maybe what you want to do is create a dark background. So we'll do something very dark. And just start with the dark background, because I know that my final image will be dark. And now you have layers in Photoshop Sketch. So I will add a new layer here, a drawing layer. And maybe I will start with some guides. It's always useful. So I will take this pen here, draw something white, and here you have the lines and basic shapes. So that's super amazing. Can you use grids? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing here. Very good question, Lucas. You can display a grid actually, it's part of the settings, but what I prefer is create my own grid. So using the ruler here, and you can see my fingers, I will draw some guides on a separate layer so it won't mess up my artwork. Just draw some guides here and something like this. And really the grid, the orientation of your grid depends on the energy you want for your lettering. Good. So one technique, what you can do is play with a lot of texture. Okay, so here, long tap, you have the acrylic brush, the ink marker. Let's try the ink brush. This is maybe what is very similar to the technique on paper. One tap and I can change the color. So here we want to draw something white. Here I have my guides, double tap to hide it. It's too strong, so I will tap once and reduce the opacity. And go back to my first layer. Okay, let's do something with a lot of energy. Okay. Why this is not on Twitch? Because I want to try YouTube Live, Silva. I want to see if it goes, how it goes with the chat. And so far it looks good. Okay, let's do something with a lot of energy. So I will just do something like this. Okay, and I will add a new layer. So also, if the positioning is wrong, I can tap once and say transform. Okay, so we'll put it here. Add a new layer, drawing layer. Add a N%, Esperluette. Hey, Paul. Hey, Jason. Good to see you guys. And again, add a new layer, drawing layer. Okay, good. So now I have my lettering. What you can also do is zoom in and start adding some effects. Okay, so that's what I really like with all these brushes and all this texture. I'm here. So to add some effects, I will add a new layer. And maybe you can start working on shadow. So you can use a different brush. That's what I like. Let's say I want something more precise. Long tap and I can select a color. So here it's white, but you see there is a color picker here. Then I can go in picker and make it dark. Because maybe I want to pretend that there are some shadows. So this is something you can do also in Photoshop afterwards, but I wanted to show it to you like directly here. Just to give some depth to your stroke. And Sid is there. Oh my God, Sid Weiler. You should check her portfolio. She's an amazing illustrator. She has this series before and after. I really like her work. And she's an Adobe Creative resident. Very lucky to have her in this program. Okay, shadows. Okay, maybe you can let us know in the chat who is doing hand lettering on paper today. And who enjoys hand lettering. It's one of my new passion as I'm adding some shadows. And I will show you afterwards what we can do with the shadows. So I'll just quickly add some shadows. It's not very precise, but yeah, it will make it. It will make it. And I have a funny song in the background. I don't know if you can hear this Caribbean move. Oh my God. Okay, let's add some depth. Okay, you can also, oh, there's a big one here. If you want, you can also add some highlights. Shadow. Let's do it very quickly. Okay, new layer. We'll go full white. In new layer, and just add some highlights. Very roughly, you will see why in a second. So what is cool with the iPad is that you can undo. Oh yeah, Jason, you hear that music? Oh my God. So for the music, I was very scared because on YouTube Live, you have really to pay attention to what you're streaming. So I took actually all these songs from the YouTube website in the creator section to create a playlist just for this stream. Good, and here are some highlights. Yes, thank you. And Mr. Viad, yeah, make sure we help our friend Mr. Viad Buga to get some subscribers. You can't undo in Photoshop. Of course you can. You can't undo on paper. That's what I mean. Okay, I have this. So now I need to insert my design on top of a picture. So it looks okay. So what I will do in my project is say share and send to Photoshop CC. You see this is computing now because this is creating a PSD file, and because on my desktop on my Mac I'm logged in with the same Adobe ID and I'm part of the Creative Cloud. Let's see what will happen. No hands. Will there be more streams on YouTube? Yeah, Dictor Evil, if you like it, let us know in the chat. I really like this and we will do more streams. Here we go. No hands. Magical trick. Now I have a PSD on my desktop. Sketch and Illustrator, what's the difference? So this is Photoshop Sketch that I'm using here. And I send it to Photoshop. And what is beautiful is that I have all my layers. All my layers. So I can hide this. I can hide the guides. And we will start by placing an image in the background, okay? So Fast and Furious, what I can do is directly from my Creative Cloud library, search Adobe Stock content. My word, yes. Okay, let's start fast car drive, I don't know, at night maybe. Let's see what we get. Whoa. Nice. Oh, I like this one. Okay, so what I will do is I will save a preview because I'm not sure if it will work. I will drag and drop the preview here. Oh, nice. Actually, I really like it, but there is still the watermark and it's in low resolution. So what I will do now is right click here and say I want to license the picture without leaving Photoshop, directly with Adobe Stock. It's a fantastic service if you don't know Adobe Stock. More than 55 million of pictures, videos, vector illustration. I license the picture, it will download the high resolution version, yes, and place it in my design, and that's it. That's cool. Okay, so now let's work on these shadows. Here, you see they look ugly. And they are in one separate layer, so I can say multiply to give more texture, reduce the opacity, and maybe just a Gaussian blur to smooth everything. Now it looks much better. Same with the highlight, too strong. So we'll reduce the opacity here and maybe add an outer glow, a white one please. Yes, just to smooth everything. And now I can maybe put everything in one single group and start playing with this. Yes. Good. And there is one thing that is really cool. Where is my ampersand? That's it. Actually, now I can merge everything. Maybe I should merge everything now. Because this one was too big. Here, it's better. And here we go. So you can remove the watermark, yes, just licensing the picture from Adobe Stock. Yeah, it's very, very nice. So this was made, someone was asking, directly here, I mean, live in front of you with Photoshop Sketch. You can do it also done straight on the desktop. Yes, you could, but I like working on my lettering with my iPad because I have my iPad all the time with me. And also I really like the feeling because it's really close to paper. And I don't have a Wacom tablet, as you can see. So it's one use case. Also, something else. We used this brush. Now we'll try a different one. We will use the marker brush. And again, let me draw some guides. Maybe change the color of the guides. Do something blue. Here. Adding some guides. The ampersand must be on the right side. Ah, you mean for the rendering order? Left to right? It's a design choice. I let you choose. I like it on the left. I'll let you choose. As you can see, it's very easy to manipulate it. Okay, do you have access to the sketchboard set I made? Sid, actually, not today, because I played too much with my libraries, but next time I really want to try. Yeah, I saw that you made some brushes, so this is something important. You can create your own brushes using Adobe Capture, which is also a free app, and then directly use them. Let me see if I have a project with custom brushes here. Okay, this one is not very interesting, but this is a bacon brush I've made. And just taking a picture of some bacon. Not something you will use every day, but yeah, whatever. So this is what Sid is mentioning in the chat. Okay, let's move back here. Because this is something important that we have added to Photoshop Sketch. Which is the settings. So in all your brushes now, you can go inside the settings, and by default you get something like this. And you can say, I want the size of my brush being modified depending on the pressure, but also on the velocity. I don't like velocity, so I will just changing the size depending on the pressure, something around here. And the flow 100%. So why? It's because, yeah, bacon, Robert. If I don't press too much, okay, I will try to, let me show you that, to keep it like very, very thin. It can become very thin, but then if I press, it becomes very, very thick. And this is something you do with brush pens all the time, okay, all the time. And usually when you go up, very thin, when you go down, you press, okay, you put some pressure on the pen. And Rufus, I think, can give you permissions to post links, or Rufus can find the link maybe. Okay, so let's try to do something with this. Thick. Thick. And this is not perfect, so I have to go here and we'll adjust the settings and also adjust the size. So maybe this one is a little bit too heavy. And then you practice. And velocity if the theme is fast and furious, that's a good one. So let's practice more. Maybe in a separate layer, that would be smart. Okay, so really try to find a brush that you like. Okay, and again, you can play with the settings and just practice, and at some points you will feel comfortable. And I can go back here, of course, try to arrange that. Okay, but let's say that's fine. And I will send it to Photoshop again. Just so that you understand that just from the iPad, I say send to Photoshop, and it will directly open the file, you know. And I wanted to show you the layers. I still get all my layers in separate layers. Super nice. Okay, that's cool. Hi Miko, so the goal is just to sharing, you know, some creative processes on YouTube Live. This is already something we do at Twitch every day. Okay, if you go on twitch.tv/Adobe, can you send this to Illustrator as vectors? Yes, Paul, I can actually, but you will just keep the path in this case. You will lose all the texture and everything. So if you want to vectorize some lettering in Illustrator, I will show you one technique. And this technique is very similar to what we do on paper. So first, let me play a video. This is the process of Chris Bernay, who is a professional hand lettering artist, not like me. And you see he's using tracing paper and several layers of tracing paper. So why tracing paper? Is to be able to move and reproduce the same shapes. So he has 2 times the O, but also a G here. So he wants to keep the same shape. And now that we have layers in Photoshop Sketch, I should be able to reproduce the same process. So this is what I want to show you. And then we will jump to Illustrator and we will vectorize the hand lettering. Again, same process, we will start with guides. So this is the baseline. Here we go. And again, some angle just to add some energy. And you will see that this grid will be very useful in Illustrator. You will quickly understand why, and we will jump to Illustrator. Okay, good. Tap once, reduce the opacity, create a new layer, change the color. Okay, maybe we can go back to black. And we'll just try to draw a logo. Something like this. So you can start with the basic shape. Let me draw it harder so you can see it better on the live. And then zoom in and try to add contrast. So your choice. Usually we add contrast on the left and try really to make something big on the left. That would be here. and keep it thin on the right. Okay, so I can still use the eraser here to adjust my shape. Actually, I feel pretty good about it. And I just draw inside just to see if I like the contrast. Very quickly. Okay. Are you using Adobe Slide tool? Yes, to create the grid. You mean the actual roller? I don't know. Adobe Slide tool. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. And I guess you. Oh yeah, thanks for sharing Sid's brushes. Okay, so we have our L. I'll create a new layer, and we will work on the O. We'll just write logo. Okay. So I'm trying to get the same curve, same energy here. Here we go. There are so many ways to draw O. I don't know, I try to go maybe big here. And again, you just try to close and keep it thick. So here, you can see the thickness of my L. I'm trying to get it as thick, almost as thick, with the same curve here. Don't really care about the node, and move away. Actually, it's more like this, just to keep the same curve. Okay, that's good enough. And usually when I do hand lettering, I'm not live, if you see what I mean. I can relax. Not checking this. Okay, touch size and in-app. Okay, I don't know touch size, sorry. Okay, and now this is magical. So this is what we would do with tracing paper. We'll do it in Photoshop Sketch now. In my layers, I want to write logo, okay? That's what I want to do. So I will click once and say transform. I will, let's do it again. Okay, I will click once and say duplicate. Click again and move. Okay, done. Click once, duplicate, click again and transform. Okay, so now I already have the second O and I start getting the structure of my G. But to get my G and to respect the curves, I will take the L, duplicate it, and transform the L. And I try to see what works. I guess something like this is quite good. And I will erase this. Move back here. So I guess the way to connect would be something around here. Double tap, okay, to mask a layer. Quickly identify what's going wrong. No, this is not this one. This is this one. Okay, it should be something like this. Good. Magical, yes, Rob. But this is exactly what we would do with tracing paper. Exactly how traditional lettering artists work. Now I can work on kerning. So again, I move here. Actually, it would be easier because the L is too distant, but it would be easier to work on the L directly. And do something like this. It's too much. Again, tap, transform. Here. Erase. Okay. Now I feel quite strong about it. Thank you, Laven. So Thank you, Malco. The goal is really to share the best techniques, like just tips and tricks. But now I want really this to become a professional logo. And to do this, you need vectors. So I need to jump to Illustrator to transform this as vectors, and we have to draw it again. But thanks to this sketch and thanks to the guides, you will see that it will be super easy. So I will say send to, not to Photoshop this time, but send to Illustrator. And this will create for me an Illustrator files with several layers, just with bitmaps, okay, to combine all the shapes. That's really cool. When you send it to Illustrator, it takes more time. Okay, so let's try. Okay, it said send, and now I should receive it in Illustrator, so let's do it. And I don't need the iPad anymore, so I will put it on the side. Illustrator Draw is another technique, yes. This is something we can show later, but you don't have exactly the same tools. But I can show it afterwards if you want. Geha Lumix, good point. Okay, Illustrator now is launching, so I know that it will open my file. Here we go. And now we can work on this logo. So let me display my keystrokes so you can feel my the shortcuts I will be using. I don't like tracing. See what I mean? I don't like it. So we'll just try to draw it from scratch using the pen, the pencil. I mean the pen tool in Illustrator. So I can select all these guys and maybe reduce the opacity a bit. Here we go. And I will keep the styles, the guides, okay, very important. The guides will be very useful for my vectors. So I will use the pen, press P, add a strong color, so you can see it. Transparent fill color, and let's start draw this baby. So you see, I'm trying to follow the guides. I don't know if you can see it well, but I'm trying to follow my guides to keep the same energy I was aiming first. Okay, I can fix it later. Where is my dot? Here. Must be one here. So you see I'm pressing space just to adjust in real time what I'm doing. Again, trying to find the same curve and go back here. Okay, now I can invert and look at the shape. I can do also Command Y just to look at the basic shape. Here I need to fix something, so I always press A. And maybe increase the size of this junction. Yes, that's better. Okay, we have the L. I don't need to create a new layer in this case, so go back here. I will start from the same point. Again, I follow my guides. If you look at my guides, trying to keep the same curve. Okay. Let's move like here. Follow the guides. Again, follow the guides. Follow the guides. Follow the guides again, and follow the guides. If you follow your guides, so the width tool in Illustrator is one of the unused here. Yeah, so I tried the width tool for lettering. It's good, but can be very confusing when you play with multiple width. Can be super confusing. So I'm not very convinced yet. I like it for small adjustment, but I like also to manipulate the full shapes. See, like this, and maybe sometimes at points I just feel better with full shapes. I mean, controlling the energy. So you remember what we did? The bacon the bacon brush, a new classic. Okay, copy paste, just duplicate. Still using the guides to align everything. Remember this baby? Here we go. Actually, we'll keep the same size. I like it. Command Y. And now let's clean the mess. So here we have a mess. Okay, we just reduce this and we'll see later what we can do with it. Here I don't need this one, delete, I don't need this one. Here I will need this dot. I'll just place it here, reduce the strength and move here without breaking the curve. Here it will be somewhere here, reduce the strength. Yeah, it should be somewhere here. So what is this? Oh yeah, I don't need this, I don't need this. Whoop. I broke the curve, so I will press P, add a dot. Refine it. Good. Using the pen, close the junction. Maybe I can use this one actually. Yes. Here we go. Not bad. Illustrator can handle bacon, yeah. Shape builder. Yeah, if you want, we can show that. Ooh, look at that. This one is too big. Reduce the strength. Okay. So you can keep it like this. And this is weird, actually. If you want to merge everything, so you can either, well, let me copy paste it just to keep a copy. You can use the Pathfinder in this case because it's super easy. Okay, merge everything. Or you can use the shape builder tool, but the shape builder tool is more when you have additions and subtractions. So yeah, I won't see it in this case because it can become confusing. Okay, let's merge this. And let's see our logo in action. So maybe we can make a black version. Open my Creative Cloud libraries. Oh, they're already open. Okay, good to know. Oh, here. And we'll go in a new library, which is YouTube Live. Drag and drop the logo. Logo black. To see this done with the width tool, yeah, good luck. I mean, we can try. Okay, let's try, Paul, but I can tell you that to get exactly the same feel, that won't be easy. And there is a song in the background saying, do it right, just do it. So yes, I will. Okay, the width tool. Here we go. So I will start very tiny, keep it tiny, and here I want it bigger. But before, keep it thin. So using the width tool, you can try to emulate everything. Have you explored vectoring lettering with this extreme method? Extreme? What is extreme? Lettering. You mean creating a font set? I can show you how to create a typeface thanks to this. And I want just to add a white version here just in case. Okay, logo white. Yes. Let's move back to Photoshop and open this Creative Cloud library. I also have a for placement library. Yes. So let's try to see if our logo works in action. Where should we put it? As a silver stamping? Okay, let's try. Let's go back to the library, take the black logo, put it here. Here we want to add a mask. Okay, ready? Maybe it's too big, no? I feel it's too big. Looks like Leica a little bit, you see? Okay, let's save. Yay! So cool. So if you want to find some PSD for placements, you just need to go in the Creative Cloud app, Assets, you click on the Market tab, and here you search for placement. And you can place your logo on almost everything. Let's go back to the for placement and try another one. Chalkboard. Chalkboard. Boom. Here we go. Which program am I using to show the key you press? I'm using something called Mouse Posie. Mouse Posie. Initially, it's to display what you're doing with the mouse, but then you can also display what you type, and it's very cool. So someone is talking about font self. Okay, so let's see what you can do with font self. Actually, I have a library. What's the name? Here. So I have some shapes. A B, C, D, E, and let's add the I. Okay. So if you want this to oh, what's happening? Oh, that's weird. Okay, let's go back to the logo. If you want this to become like a real font, okay, let's do this. We just merge this and merge everything inside. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 characters. You can open an extension, it's called Font Self. Font Self. There is an update. I will update it later. We create a new font for YouTube Live. And I will pick this one and say, this is a L. So I will type it here. You see, I will type L. This is, drag and drop, the O. O. This is a G. Okay, so you have to draw each character usually. And then you can try it here, L-O-G. Okay, so I have some issues, you see, with the spacing. So here, I need to put it here. Resize on the left, resize on the right. Same here. The baseline is not correct. Here, resize on the left, resize on the right. So I only have 3 characters, but then once you're ready, you say install. This is my logo font. Okay. And that's it. Now it's already on my system. So if I go here and type some text, logo, 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 and change the size to 100, I should have logo font now. Yes. And here we go. So I can, of course, only type O-L-O-N-G. If I type A, it doesn't work. Well, I can type go, 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 and I can type lol, and that's it. If I modify something, so let's say I want to fix this, change the baseline of the O, I click on install again, and it updates in real time. You see the O. Very nice. And I was in isolation mode, yeah, that's what I got, but it would be too long to fix that. So this is another trick that you can use with lettering. We saw a lot of techniques. Paul mentioned one. He wanted to see, yeah, Illustrator Draw, so I can show you very quickly what you can do with Draw. Oh, you don't want to see my password. Highly secured, 6x0. Okay, so let's launch Illustrator Draw. I have a lot of sketches of Pokemon, as you can see. It was part of another stream, so I will just start a new project. And let's do some lettering. So who is there? Tony, Lucas. Okay, let's do Lucas. Okay, so something like this. I'm not very used to, as you can see, to Illustrator Draw for lettering, but it's something you can try. And then the advantage is that when you send it to Illustrator, okay, let's go back to Illustrator, and you see it's spinning, it says sent, boom. You keep all the vectors. You see, you have all the dots. But you have a lot of points. I mean, look at that. Whoa. So my advice, select everything, go to Object, Path, and hit Simplify. Simplify by 96%. You can preview and see that it doesn't change that much. If you simplify too much, yeah, everything is broken. But like, just do like 90%. You reduce by almost 4 the number of dots. So that's another tool, Illustrator Draw. Also a free application available on iOS and Android already. Photoshop Sketch is coming to Android very soon. And yeah, so any more creations? I think it's time to say goodbye and to have dinner. Almost 9 p.m. in France. Good time for dinner. Someone was saying it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, Tony. Good one. Whole new level of phone anxiety. Yeah, I agree. So anxious. But yeah, I wish you will have a lot of fun with hand lettering on the iPad and in all the Creative Cloud mobile apps. They are all free. Okay, just search Adobe on the App Store and on Google Play to download the apps. And then experiment in Illustrator, in Photoshop, and don't hesitate to share your artwork with us. Okay, thanks for being with us on YouTube, and see you soon. Bye, everyone.